Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the SportsCage, Saskatchewan. However you are taking in the program, whether it is on the radio, 620 CKRM on any of the audio streams, or you're watching along on YouTube through the sportscage.com. Thanks for making some time. It is for Regina Motor Products. Great selection of iron at Regina Motor Products out there. And of course, they have the oil change package. You get a little SO gift card right now. Go and see the fine folks there. 3 hours for you today. Lots to come on the Saskatchewan Roughriders and some injuries. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We are going to talk to Scott Schultz, the old 96ers, coming into studio for his weekly segment. Should be here in about 10 minutes time. Always a good time. We're going to talk a little Lieutenant Eric. How about him? He hasn't been on the show for a while, from Edmonton Sports Talk. He's a Sasky boy. He bleeds green. Get his take on the Riders, and we'll talk about what's going on with the Elks and the turnaround in Edmonton. Probably sprinkle in a little Edmonton Oiler talk there with Lieutenant Eric as well. Justin Dunk from 3 Down Nation. Going to run down what he saw last weekend with the Riders, with the Rider injuries, some of the movements. What does Justin think? Also, the Heck Creighton. That's the top player in university sports football. 3 Down Nation just released the top 10 in the running for that this year. 2 Saskatchewan players, one from Regina, one from the U of S Huskies in that as well. And we have our junior football report. The Regina Thunder are rolling. We're going to hear from one of their players and then also a player from up north with the Saskatoon Hilltops. We like when you chime in, come at us, have questions, chirps, whatever. It's the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Prairie Land Rentals, nice shop located at 600 Albert Street in Regina, where you get to deal with the owner. So if you need something to rent with that late summer, fall job coming up, they can probably help you out. They're also the Husqvarna dealer of choice. 600 Albert Street. The number is 936-6262. 936-6262. Then, of course, all of our guests, when they come on, join us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. That Regina-style pizza. He ain't making that at home. That's for sure. Pickup specials, dine-in specials. Visit your local Western Pizza tonight. Okay, so let's get it going. I think, raise your hand if you thought Sam Emilus was probably hurt after that game Sunday in British Columbia. Colson, his hand's up, my hand's up. Crazy Ed in the corner, his hand is up. We kind of figured that was the case. So Sam Emilus plays to the 6th game. That came down late last night. Colson, I thought it was, you don't have to pull your mic down. I thought it was kind of interesting. Came down late, like we were already off the air. We were close to off the air. Yeah, and that it's like a political media release when they do them on like Sunday mornings. They want things to fly under, but I was like, oh no, there it is. Oh yeah, Sam Emilus is out. Really going to be really curious later to get Justin Dunk's thoughts on that, because we talked about it Sunday in the round table when I was hosting for Tegan. And then also, get Schultz's comments on that about a guy playing late in the game. Obviously, there's one gear, and it's a giver, but it's August, and you're down by a few points. And look how, if you're watching the stream, like when he fell from that height on that catch. Do you ever remember in elementary school when they teach you how to fall on those mats that weren't really soft? They're like, hey, never fall like this because you'll break your elbows or dislocate your elbows. Like, when he comes down there on that hit, it looks like very easily, if he falls on his arm the wrong way, he breaks his arm. Yeah. Yeah, it's spooky.
That was the first thing I saw when the slow-mo was coming. When I saw it the first time, I was like, oh no, it's his wrist. Like, looked like he's going to snap his wrist. Arms are totally fine. Yeah. I think, again, he just either winded himself really bad or smacked his head and got maybe a little concussed, which
But there was a play before that where he kind of gets rolled up on. And I was sitting, Wes Cates and I were watching it here. And he's like, I don't know. Josh is our first member to the party today on the text line. It's through the YouTube chat, Prairie Land Rentals text line. Josh is saying, I didn't think he was hurt. Not 6-game injured list. Then he says, question tailbone. I think it's more than a tailbone. That hurts, though. When you fall on your tailbone from any kind of height, doesn't matter what age you are, ooh, we're getting on the ice lots of times on ice, right in the old tailbone. But yeah, Josh, I didn't think it was 6-game, so I'm with you there, my man. I thought, maybe a week to week thing.
The only thing I would give to Josh on the tailbone thing is a little bit later on in the clip here that we're showing, the trainers are working his legs. Okay. So might be something low back, tailbone.
Oh, yeah, no, good. Hey.
It could be anything.
I'm no doctor. I struggle putting on Band-Aids. But yeah, how he walked off there, I see what you guys are saying. Okay, well, there's that. 936-6262 lines open. Or you could be like Sean yesterday and call in. That was a great way to start the show. Let's hear from Coach Mace if we can. And first off, Coach Mace, on the mood of the team on this Wednesday.
Yeah, I think everybody's just a little teed off, you know what I mean? We want to get this thing straightened out and get back on the good side of things, but we're not ignorant to the work and the things that we've been doing to this point to not help ourselves win games. Those are already hard enough. So, again, like anything, we talk about the fixes, plan of action to go out there and fix it.
It's also Wednesday. So on Wednesdays, at least when I'm here, I wasn't here last Wednesday, and I'm not here next Wednesday because I'm on holidays again. But it's like, where do you land Wednesday? We like to play Where Do You Land? Today is rider-based.
Where do you land Wednesday?
Love that jingle. Good work, fellas. What I want to do today, what we're going to play, all of our guests, I'm going to get them to play, and then you out there listening or watching as well. Okay? You got some little bit of homework here. Riders' remaining schedule. Okay? Win or loss. So we have Toronto this week. You say Toronto, W or L. Then it's the back-to-backs with Winnipeg. Then it's in BC. Then Calgary's here. Then we got the home and home with Montreal. Then we finish it with Edmonton. Colson, do you want to be the first contestant? Do you want to play remaining schedule, Where Do You Land Wednesday, Riders? Okay, so this Saturday, knowing what we know, we got some injuries, we got some new guys in, we got all that. What do you think with Toronto coming in for their second visit to Mosaic Stadium?
I think there's going to be one game at least in this stretch that, again, surprises us again, the Riders lay an egg, whatever it is. I'm going to give that to Toronto because they've already beaten us once. Okay. And then I can get that weird game off my board.
Okay, so there's your loss. Yeah. Labor Day.
I think we take Labor Day. I think it just means more. The crowd will be into it, right? I think we take it. And I think Winnipeg is such a mess right now. I think we can take the back-to-back as well.
Oh, you get the stringed instrument rematch game. Yeah. You think we take that too?
It'll be close. Okay. I would not be surprised if we drop it, but I think we'll take it. Going back to BC, it's off the bye. I'm betting we'll have some guys back. I know there's a few season-ending injuries that we have, but maybe we'll see KSB by then. Who knows?
Maybe.
That'll be right.
Okay, so we're 3-1 so far.
Yeah, so we take BC. I think...
At home, Calgary.
Yeah, that's a hard one. It's at home. Calgary is stumbling too. I kind of want to just say that we win it just to spite Jeffrey. That'll be my only reason.
Okay, so we're 4-1.
Let's go 1-1 with Montreal. I suspect they'll have the East locked up by then.
5-2.
But yeah, let's go 1-1, and then Edmonton. That either means everything or it means nothing. So
let's say it means something.
I think we take it then.
So 6-2. We go 6-2.
I do have green-colored glasses, but hey,
that's all right.
I'll take it.
That's all right. You're allowed. Okay, that's what we're gonna do for the rest of the day. We're on Wednesday. Back to Coach May. So we got there. we're on the struggle bus a bit the last 2 weeks. Like it or not, I call it like I see it. Riders on a bit of a struggle bus. What does Coach Mace think about some in-season adversity?
I believe so. I think I don't think any team is not accustomed to seeing some form of adversity, be it throughout the season or, through a game. You're going to get that. I think it's just essentially how you respond to those things can make or break your season, can make or break your football team. I trust everybody in that locker room and understanding how we're going to respond. What I will say is going into last game, I thought our mindset, I thought our effort, everything was exactly where we wanted it. We just, like I said, a lack of focus in certain situations. So trying to find that fine line for us to dial ourselves up, but dial ourselves back and stay correct in the proper moments.
Okay, yeah. When we're on Schultz here next year, we're gonna ask him about in-season adversity. We got more to get to. Nelson Lacombo also shifted to safety today, and Shamir Bridges was in at practice as well. Quickly, Prairieland Rentals text line. Sid, he's watching the YouTube stream. He says, "I want your shirt." Looking at everything is for sale, Sid. Everything. It's like a pawn shop. What do you want? See, some people are getting in on the Where Do You Land Wednesday and doing it well as well. Wow, there's some people are right on board with what you had, Colson. We'll get to that in a bit. Okay, let's go to break, and then Schultz will be in studio here. It's the Sports Cage on this Wednesday for Regina Motor Products on 620 CKRM. Okay, Schultzy's in the studio. He came in at Midweek Sound Off. Watching the game Sunday in BC, a place where you used to go and play, and a lot of green in the stands and all that. What's your assessment of that game, though?
Disappointing and frustrating. I watch it, I still watch it as if I'm, I could make something happen, right? So as I'm thinking, what would I have done? Not realizing that Father Time has ravaged my body to the point where I basically have Alzheimer's because I believe that I can still do something. But you watch it, and it's all, to me, it was very preventable stuff. It was mistakes. It was the touchdowns called back. It was those kinds of things. And when you look at a game like that, you can let one of those games go, but you start stacking them up back to back, then it becomes a little bit of a concern.
Is there first half, like stat wise and score wise, it's like, we're in this game. But do you get the feeling, because I get the feeling, and I'm like, oh, yeah, as soon as Rourke starts kind of feeling comfortable going for a couple little scampers on his REO Speedwagon, I'm like, I don't know. And then the offense. Is it at times, do you think we've been predictable the last few weeks?
Well, we were talking about this off air, but yeah, I think there some of that can set in. I mean, these offensive coordinators get paid the big bucks. They put in the big hours, and they're always trying to get an edge. But, when you're dealing with injuries, and not only just injuries of one or two guys, but reoccurring injuries, injuries everywhere. Sometimes, you've got to take some of the playbook out and get normalized and try to get some success that way. And at this point, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's starting to get to be a little bit of a concern for the rider faithful for sure.
Nelson Lacombo's taking reps at safety today. What have you seen over the last little bit? Do you think that's a move that needed to happen, or teams maybe starting to go at young Jackson Ford a bit?
So this is tough because, when you're talking pure football and result driven and all the rest of it, then of course you look at these kinds of things. But there's also the side of like Jackson Ford, young player, he's starting to come into his own. Were all the problems caused by Jackson Ford? No. Did he misjudge a tackle here or there? Yes. But he came back with a pick, right? And don't forget, the best part of the game was after Jackson Ford's pick. The Riders, I think, went on five consecutive plays and drove the ball. So then it becomes where is there the leeway for a guy like that to develop and work it out and see if he can work it out, right?
What's the leash?
That's what I mean. I mean, and you know how pro sports is. They give you just enough leash to hang yourself. So it's a matter of, you know, do they believe in this kid enough to be like, okay, we've made some mistakes, we've been in some tough spots, but we believe in this guy to work it out and smooth it out, or man, do we gotta change personnel? And you know, I think they're looking at changing some personnel. I mean, obviously they're, you know, you just had said who they're putting in back there,
The combo, Nelson,
and you know, to take a look. But you know, personally, you know, if the football gods are smiling, they're going to let Jackson work it out, because I think he's going to be a great player, and he's got the ability to be a starter all the time.
Okay, you're going to football practice after this today,
Yes.
your high school team, which I can't wait for the high school football season to start. We're going to be all over it again here on the
Friday
SportsCage.
night versus Peacock.
Is it a little preseason?
Nope, this is game one.
This is game one, so we're not starting our high school football report until next week. So things will all be started. But the one thing, and you go, anybody out there that even played high school football, or if you played RMF or Kinsman tackle up in Saskatoon, or what's it called, Pup Warner down in the States, the athletic kid on cornerback with really quick feet that can run with anybody and cover a guy, that doesn't mean he can go play safety. I've started this on Sunday night, and all the guests I'm asking, and you played pro football, now you're coaching. Explain that to people, Schultz, because it's kind of like two different skill sets.
Well, it's more of that. The safety becomes kind of a field general out there. I mean, the linebacker is to somewhat, you know, for the front, but on the back end, the safety is the one that basically sorts it all out.
And you're kind of seeing. You're on that perch.
They've got the eagle eyes of you, and they've got and they're like the last bastion of hope, and they've got to fill in accordingly, right? So there is you know, when you get playing pro in the safeties, it's very much more intellectual than it is physical, for sure.
Do you remember in your days where you guys ran into safety trouble and they had to try a few different guys there?
No, I had Scotty Gordon.
Gordon.
He was a gorgeous man, and he could do it on the field, off the field.
You and Sid need to get together.
Any which way you wanted to, Scotty Gordon was doing it. So, you know, we were pretty lucky at and then of course you pair him up with the capabilities of an Eddie Davis.
Yeah,
we were pretty solid on the back end.
What did you see from the defensive line and getting to Rourke and trying to get to Rourke, shutting down the run?
You know, a conventional run game, they shut it down. I'm happy with that. I mean, you know, the guy didn't break 100 yards, I don't think, did he?
I don't know. Horvath
I don't know what the actual. I think it was 74 yards, something like that. But again, it's you know, they're a little unassuming right now. Still, I would have liked for the group to really produce their big stud guy, and he's the next guy. And that's not to say that they're doing not doing a great job. I think that they're playing together as a unit and they're doing what needs to be done. It's just we need to finish on the quarterback. We need to get that ball back into our offensive hands as many times as possible, and the D-line can affect that, and we need to start seeing it.
Horvath only ran for 43 yards.
There you go.
Yeah, under 50.
So what I saw against that conventional run, I'm happy with. But, you know, it's just like the Riders. I mean, you know, we didn't get physically pummeled around. I mean, we moved the ball for over 410 yards. It's frustrating to see when we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot. And you know, I keep looking back on and saying, well, they've got this experience. They're a defending championship team. They've got this depth. And I think they're getting to the bottom of their abilities now where you know, all the experience and all of those things that are helping, you just need to get some of those bodies back, and it's tough. It's tough for everybody, and that's why I look to the stretch of the season and our health down that stretch.
Adversity, and we just heard Coach Mace talk about it. When you go through your years, do you remember a grind where you guys kind of went through some adversity like this?
Well, cripes, every year was 9-9. I mean, I think 4 of those years were 9-9 years, and that was the ones where, like, I don't remember, for 3 of those years, even the ones where we went off and we went all the way to the Western Final, we still, like, we had to win like 3 and 4 games at a clip just to get in the playoffs. So that pressure was there. And what I remember is, you know, one of those years we were having some trouble on offense with drops and stuff. And I don't remember anybody bringing it up to the offense, you know, being a jerk about it. I remember guys really buying into that mentality of let's give the ball back to the offense. They fumbled on the 1 yard line, 2 yard line. Awesome. Let's go out there, make a stop, give it back to them. That was the mentality.
Scott Schultz is joining us, the midweek sound off for Lakeview Insurance and Revive Men's Health Clinic. What's your take on Sam Emilus being out there? Was he out there too late? Can you pull him off there? I know you still could win the game, but again, I'm an odds guy. I'd play the odds there, and then now again, bang, he's back on the 6-gamer.
It's so hard, I heard Coach Mace saying through the week, they're asking, are these guys ready? Can they come on? What do you think? And it's, and all you can do is say, hey, they say they're ready. The medical staff says that they're ready. We try them. We try to test it as much as we can. And then you roll the dice. And these guys want to play. They're not out there tiptoeing and if they're out there, they want to be out there. And I'm an old school guy. Whereas if it's game day, no matter what's going on, if you cross that white line, you're there. You're healthy.
100%.
You're healthy, and it's time to strap it up and let's go.
The only way is plan B is to give her.
That's right,
as Diener said. after the third quarter, and I think I'm definitely in the minority here, but I'm like, do we maybe pull out Emilus? I was sitting here with Wes. I said, well, do we maybe give Harris a sit?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, we'll put Cone in. And I'm like, or let's let Tommy do some stuff for a quarter.
It's so hard because, from a holistic, from a hey, 10,000 foot view, that's what would be good for the overall growth of the program. We're recognizing we're in a rough spot, probably not going to win. Let's pull the guy out and let's get some experience going. It's hard because every one of these games, these 18 games, there's only 18 of them. It's not like baseball where there's 82 or hockey where you can try
play
things.
Around, yeah.
You blow a weekend, big deal. I mean, you lose a game. The pressure in football is so much more on the wins and the losses because there just aren't that many. And so it's so hard to make those choices. And I heard Luke and the guys talking about it on air too during the game. And it's just it's got to be in that last kind of 7 to 3 minutes where you're going to make those guys. You can't do that unless it's
way out,
way out, or
out.
Injuries, right?
I was asking you about they had Daniel Johnson catch. Let's go. Talk about one of the real bright spots in that game out there. And look he just runs it, nice confident
Pulling it up,
little hook pattern.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the move
big dog.
You would have loved that. You would have loved that.
That reminds me of the Monday Night Football versus the Miami Dolphins and Jumbo Elliott. And John Madden calls, and that's a fat man touchdown. And he pulls up. He was going to pop it. He was squeezing that thing so tight. He was so excited to get the ball. So I liked seeing the big dog score for sure.
Did you ever have any teammates, any big guys that would get out there? Maybe it was even just practice or in a game and got a catch?
You know who, not the brown nose too much.
O'Day?
O'Day hit over 400 in baseball in high school. He was
slugger.
Oh yeah, the Reds were looking at him. Or the Reds or the Cardinals.
Wow.
Oh yeah, he is the overall lineman, big guy athlete. I mean, he could dunk. He could give you a layup.
Settle down. He can dunk
from a one-step dunk. I got the vert to do it, but I'm not athletic enough to dunk.
Well, you're a judo guy.
That's right. Grappling. I'll throw you on your head. I can't. I'll jump a 32.5-inch vertical is what I jumped for San Diego Chargers. Could I dunk a basketball? No.
O'Day out there, eh? The all-round athlete.
Oh yeah. Hey, he's got touchdown passes from Doug Flutie.
Ah.
He was their sixth man as a rookie. And so he was the end guy. I've seen him. They're signed in his base. He's got 2 Doug Flutie signed touchdowns. O'Day, talk to him about that. Talking about a big guy scoring.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of access to O'Day.
Oh.
Especially the Tuesday to Friday show. We don't get a lot of access.
He was I can remember days where we would be down at Carm's place, right, and you'd wait for the old dogs like Poley and all that come down there to play handball. And I'm throwing my elbow out trying to smack this thing like a nose guard.
Oh, at the courtside.
Yeah. O'Day and Makowski, those guys are in there just soft touching. Merry Christmas. Here's a present for you. Boo. Front corner, over. Like these, oh yeah, the athletes. Athletes.
Did you guys have a ping pong table in the room?
Oh yeah, we had a ping pong table.
Who was the player?
The number one of all time would be, it was head to head between Scott Gordon and Andy Fantuz. And I actually streaked the championship ping pong game, and I think I tilted the table in Scotty Gordon's favor, and we won. So, and Kevin Clive was in there. Remember old Ain't No Jive Kevin Clive? He was in there recording, and then he did it just like TSN. So when it got to me streaking, I was like, Gordy's number one, and I got nothing but my tape on. It shows this blur of a white guy and then just the roof, and then he's scanning the roof of the locker room.
Okay, I want to play the game. I want to play the game with you here. Remaining schedule. If you got the monitor in front of you there.
All right.
We're gonna pull it up. We got some people texting in here too. That's what we're asking you today. Remaining schedule. Okay, Schultz, he's starting this Saturday at home against Toronto.
Win.
The Labor Day Classic.
Win.
The stringed instrument game.
Win.
Heading to BC Week 17.
We're on a roll. Revenge win.
Calgary comes here Week 18.
Win.
You know Crescent Street. You know that city.
That's going to be either a tie or a loss.
Not allowed anymore.
That's a loss. That one might be a loss. Put an asterisk beside that one. Maybe. I don't know.
So that's their first loss.
That's their first loss.
Then an angry, which the game might not mean any. The game probably doesn't mean anything.
Right.
For Montreal, they might have midnight move Terry.
Right.
At quarterback. They come here.
Over for them. It's over.
We win.
Barbecue chicken.
Okay, and we are saying, hypothetical, play along with us, people here. Don't read too much into it. This game actually means something. The final game of the season, Edmonton in a probably nice, chilly Mosaic Stadium, having a coffee and Bailey's. What do you think?
Win. So I think that's pretty rough.
You
but
have one loss.
I'm one loss, but I'm a believer. I'm a believer. You tell me I got the Ryder oxygen pumped right into my nostrils. I'm believing. I believe
you're a grappler.
I am.
Nothing's over.
Nothing's over until the whistle goes.
Did you, as a grappler, and if people don't know what we're talking about, it was a few weeks ago where Schultz, it was behind the face mask.
Oh, that's right.
That you let us know that one of your sports as a kid growing up that you excelled in was judo. And a lot of people, right?
Well, it wasn't judo. It was karate.
Karate.
Kempo karate.
Karate.
But then I wrestled in high school.
Kata.
Kata. Fighting six guys at one time. Oh,
Were
yeah.
you fighting children?
Well, but I was a child, but I was also
Man.
6'2" and 187 pounds.
Remember when first UFCs came out?
Oh yeah.
Weren't those, and you kind of were like, what's this guy
Black market.
What's this guy in the gi that's rolling around on the ground? He's going to get squashed by these other. Royce Gracie
started choking guys. You're like, you could choke guys? Then everyone switched.
But then, even karate guy didn't stand a chance.
No chance.
And the brawler guy, and the mustache, bar fight guy.
They had like barroom brawlers. They had judo guys. They had karate. They had the whole deal.
What scares you though with Toronto coming in here this weekend and Chad Kelly, a guy that can kind of really throw it around the inner city of Regina?
Well, I don't know. So they're a problem. I mean, when they're on, they can do some things. Chad Kelly is a guy that will throw 4 picks, but he can throw 6 touchdowns.
Riverboat gambler?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I never liked the Eastern teams. I mean, to me, it's always just like, yeah, well, Montreal's 9-1. Yeah, they play in the East. Like it stands to reason. So when they come in here, it's just a matter of, you got to think about the situation. And I think about the Riders and the growing angst where we've dropped 2 in a row. I just don't see them coming into Regina doing anything.
Well,
I don't.
I can't. I'm surprised they came in here when we were starting on that heater and did that to us. That's where I'm like.
But again, I think that is a little bit of us like getting over our skis. Okay, let's. And then we got settled in, and then you saw it happen.
What? Before I forget, I want to ask you, what did you think as a coach, too, that you're going straight to football practice here? Jete on that slant pattern. 1,000%, was he supposed to keep running that?
Bro, you got to run yourself open on those ones. Even a nose guard knows that one. But, hey, we love it. We love it. I say that stuff because I am so genuinely, excited about when these guys do stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you just see their abilities. And he knew it. You can see the look on his face.
Well,
Trevor knew it.
That's emotion from.
Well, the thing is though too, but again, so we're not working with the first unit. We're down on injuries. Guys have been cycled through, and like we said, Trevor's got some frustration because you can only get so many looks at practice, and the reps are the reps.
Yeah. All right. How does the club look this year? By the way, the young guys.
Listen, our starting 24. I will go out on a limb and say we'll smash anybody. But the problem is we've got 31 kids signed up, 31 total. Right?
Oh, you.
Peacock's rolling into town with 70 plus. Some big fat boys that taking off some of those reps. So we're lean. We're a bunch of linebackers and hockey players. That's our whole team. And then my guy, Evan's big.
Do they get ball possession? Kill the clock. Let's make this game really slow, boys.
Our guys, I think, are going to be great because we've got some South Sask guys. We've got some guys on our team that have been on selects and all that stuff. So we've got a core of guys. It's just the injuries and if we lose one guy, I mean, we could potentially lose 3 positions because we got guys playing both 2 ways and 3 ways on special teams and this, that, and the other.
And so game 1 is Friday?
Friday, 7 o'clock, Leibel Field, taking on Moose Jaw Peacock, the old Sweat Hogs coming into town, right? The Welders.
I love that color combo that Peacock has. Isn't that like orange and green?
Orange and green and white.
Love that combo.
Yeah. And of course, there's always the hubbub around the league. I mean, a kid quarterback transferred from Central Collegiate over to Peacock. That makes them better. And, all the stuff, right? So... and then, of course, we're
mom and dad driving a new car.
Oh yeah. and we're the ugly ducks because we got kicked out of the Regina League because of past stuff. So we're back on the good foot, trying to make it work.
All right. Well, you guys.
Well, just noticed this. Adam Scheffner is reporting that the NFL is eliminating the Pro Bowl games.
Thank God.
I didn't watch that anyway.
Weren't they awful? So. I used to, when I was in high school.
The Aloha Bowl, like when it was in Hawaii?
Yeah. Who was that one safety that just blew up a running back?
Yeah.
Was it McCoy? I can't remember.
Oh, I know what you're talking about,
I just saw he played for Washington. But anyways, now it's just
What do you think about this? And Colson's kind of been reading up on it today about that whole, and I think it's getting squashed now. NCAA getting cut from the NFL and being able to go back to the NCAA.
It's wild. I don't even recognize it because I remember in the Division II in the 1990s and early 2000s, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't pick your nose. No
transfer portal.
No transfer portal. You wanted to transfer, it was minimum 1 year, loss of eligibility, loss of scholarship.
Your transfer was going back to Moose Jaw.
Oh, these guys! I mean, they're living in the lap of luxury and all this stuff, and it is getting really bizarre.
But it sounds like it's the SEC and the Big Ten have squashed it.
Yeah, and the NFL said they won't pick anyone back up who says they're going back to college.
Yeah, so the NFL's trumping in on that.
Yeah, they got to. They've got to be the leaders here.
That would make a lot of. I was wondering if there was going to be sanity was going to come through on that. Okay, thanks a lot for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Go get the boys fired. Keep them healthy. Keep them hydrated.
Yep.
And good luck Friday.
All right, man. We'll see you on Wednesday.
There he is, Midweek Sound Off with Schultz, Lakeview Insurance. You want to talk to Schultz and have a cup of coffee? He's part of the Lakeview Insurance team. Call him up. He'll come out and go through some plans for you. And also Revive Men's Health Clinic, ED treatment without pills and surgery. Look him up, Revive Men's Health Clinic. It's the Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM. All right, welcome back to the show for Regina Motor Products on this Wednesday. We had a great text message that someone came in and had it all laid out here, Colson. I can't. The system is a little slow. We're playing Riders' remaining schedule. What do you think? Mike in Speedy Creek on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. I think it's a concerning situation right now, 2-game losing streak. If they lose this week in Toronto, it makes it a 3-game losing streak. It's panic mode. And I would look into what part isn't doing their job. A little hint right now, QB coach is where I would start looking. Mike in Swift Current.
Do we even have a QB coach?
Well, offensive coordinator, I don't think we're going to be doing anything there. But thanks for the message, Mike in Swifty, regardless. I'm just trying. How come I don't see it? Somebody had it. Okay, here we go. Right here. Dylan in Saskatoon. He's got the assignment buttoned up. Dylan in Sad. We're playing Where Do You Land Wednesday? The remaining rider schedule. What do you think? Dylan is going Toronto, win. Winnipeg, win. Rematch, win. At BC, win. Calgary comes here, loss. Week 19, win in Montreal. A loss when Montreal comes here, and then a win against Edmonton in the final game of the year. Thanks, Dylan. Great text message from up in Saskatoon. Yep. He also says, I love to see big guys catch the ball. I played O-line for 6 years, had a chance to do it on a play like Johnson once. No one expects it. What high school in Saskatoon? Dylan, I'm going to guess. I'll guess St. Joe's or Evan Hardy. That's my guess. You had something, Colson?
Yeah, I was just saying I pulled up our coaching staff here, and I don't think we have an official
offense or quarterback coach.
Yeah. We've got like Josh Donnelly's the offensive assistant. So we've got stuff like that, but we don't have a quarterback coach. So yeah, that could be the problem. We don't have one.
The Hammer saying Argo's first visit, the opening play was a handoff, off tackle run for 75. Never a good start. Riders by lots. James, give me the rest of the schedule. James, you're a regular on the program. You can go through. Let me know what you think of the the rest of the schedule. Travis had Sean Taylor was the safety who killed a player in the All-Star game in the Pro Bowl. That's Sean Taylor. I knew it was a simple name too. All right. So at practice today, we mentioned this. Nelson Lacombo was playing some safety. He was back there. Coach Mace, on what does the personnel shuffle in the secondary mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think, just trying different things, not just one side of the ball. So, yeah, man, we gotta find some different combinations of what we think will help us push forward. And we'll see. It could be a daily thing.
Colson just brought up a good point. The injury report just came out, and Jackson Ford was on the not participating list today. Nelson Lacombo, back there we have that. We have Dave Thomas chatting with Nelson Lacombo, who was taking reps at safety today.
Nelson Lacombo, there was some frustration that was evident on part of this team after the game in BC. What's the mindset now?
Just on to the next game. Go out there and get all the corrections done during practice and, make sure we're ready.
Trevor Harris said after the game, he said, the definition of stupidity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. How are you going to change from doing that thing over and over again?
I think we just got to, come together and, continue to, not panic and just, go out there and re-up, like I said before, go back, go through the corrections and making sure they're corrected in practice and transfer that over into the game.
One of the changes we did see at practice was you move back to safety. Obviously, you're comfortable with that spot, but you also then take on more of a leadership role, I would suggest, in the secondary. Tell me about that move and what you're seeing from the group around you.
Yeah, it's something I'm comfortable with. I've been doing it for the last couple of years, so, Coach felt like he needed to make that decision, and, I think the guys have grouped well, and, the standard doesn't change, and we want to continue to, do our job.
What have you seen on film then from this secondary group that you're looking to build upon?
We just got to capitalize on our opportunities. We've had a few opportunities that we just got to finish. I think that's kind of the biggest, the biggest thing that we're trying to go into next game, and continue to not panic, like I said before, and take it day by day.
And that's the one word that I focused in on as well, is panic. There's no need to panic after Game 10 of the season, is there?
No, not at all. No, we got a long season, so.
Tell me about the Toronto team you're facing. You know there's a quarterback that likes to put the ball in the air.
Yeah, no, we're definitely expecting some shots, and, we're just going to have to go out there and do our job.
Nelson, appreciate this. Nice seeing you back at safety. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we panic after game 10 or 11, though? I think panic's subjective. Panic when you want to panic.
Are we talking game 10 or like week 10? Because if you get a bye, those could be different.
Whatever. Game 10. Are you going to the game on Saturday? They're expecting around 30,000, maybe 30,000 plus. It's going to be a great night for football. If you want to go to the game, it's time to play SaskTel Pick the Score. 936-6262. If you haven't won anything in the last 30 days, you have to call in. Don't text. And the toll-free number is 1-866-767-0620. If you haven't won anything in the last 30 days, SaskTel Pick the Score. What do you think? Toronto, Saskatchewan, chance to win tickets to the game. If you are the closest to the actual score, you get $200 SaskTel gift card. Solid. All right. Call right now. Colts is going to take you. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back with that winner and also the ticker. It is the SportsCage on 620 CKRM. Saskatchewan Roughriders have signed defensive lineman Aaron Patrick. Remember him? Dressed for 16 regular season games of the Riders in 2025, registering 7 special teams tackles. He also suited up in both playoff games, including the Grey Cup. If you haven't heard, Sam Emelis has been sent to the 6th game. Shamar Bridges was at practice today. We're going to hear from him in a bit. Blue Jays tonight, they take on Kansas City again. Lost last night. Costly errors, right? Colin Lovequist, Nathan Lucas, what are you doing on the pads in the 9th? Poor Jays fans. The lineup did go 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position yesterday. The ticker is 4. Oh, and Little League update. Canada was playing some weird defense in the field. They're in an elimination game against Japan. Japan scored 3 in the inning, so they now lead 3. They need 4 rip.
Hey.
Top of the 3rd elimination game for Canada. The team's from British Columbia. Sports ticker is for Reliance Heath. Rent a water heater and softener together for just $1.20 a day. Call on Reliance. Some conditions apply. Also a chance to get $400 cash back. Okay, Dean on the text line. Prairie Land Rentals text line. Playing our game today. Where do you land Wednesday? We kind of did it right, Dean. I expect more from our regulars on this one. I expect more. I don't ask for a lot, but I expect more. Just go through the schedule and let me know wins or losses, just like Aaron did. So Dean says, I think we lose the stringed instrument game. We lose in Calgary and one of the Montreal games. Okay, I get you, Dean, and then the rest are wins.
So that's 5-3 over the stretch.
5-3?
Yeah.
What did you say? Did you
I did 6-2.
6-2.
Yeah, because I said we drop Toronto and then drop one of the Montreal ones.
Funky Tony. He says, seems like other teams are all improving and the Riders are going backwards. Bet the yacht it rebounds this week or we are in TROUBLE Travis Tritt style. Tell me I was dreaming, Funky Tony. But I don't think there's a lock this weekend with Toronto. I'll do mine later in the show. I'll play the game. And it's like I get to hide for 2 hours and then come out of the woodwork and do it. It's hour 1 in the books of the cage. Coming up in hour 2, Lieutenant Eric from Edmonton Sports Talk, Sasky boy, going to come on and join us. We're going to hear from Shamar Bridges. We'll also hear more from Coach Mace. It's the cage and the home of the Riders. 620. Oh, pick the score. Forgot that. Sorry, Colson. Merv Lang called in. Merv didn't want to come on the radio. Merv Lang was our winner. 35-27 Riders. Merv's telling us to take the over. Benny, if you're out there listening. Now we go to break. It's news time. We're back after that with more Rider talk. It's the Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM. Welcome back. Hour 2 of the program. Lieutenant Eric from Edmonton Sports Talk is going to be with us around the bottom of the hour. We'll talk Riders. He's a Sasky boy. We'll talk Elks and the turnaround at that franchise there in that city. And a little sprinkle in a little Edmonton Oilers. Actually, I want to talk to him about all the concerts that have been rolling through Edmonton as well. He's a music guy. Chat with Lieutenant Eric. We're going to hear more from the Riders. Shamar Bridges taking reps today. We're going to hear from him momentarily. If you didn't hear, Sam Emelis off to the 6-game injured list. Like the earlier call, I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't think we were in 6-game territory. Definitely looked like he was hurt. But yeah, so Bridges is going to fill an important hole. I know GNR is at Commonwealth tonight. I tried hard to get there. Didn't want to leave him hooked on another day off, someone to fill the sports cage, especially with Tegan coming off of sickness. So I'll just have to do it another time. Gotta do it another time. You can get into that concert tonight. I was looking for like $50, $59. Guns N' Roses. Yeah. They played here. I don't remember it. I do remember Axl by himself at the Joint, the old Hard Rock in Las Vegas. Wow, that was a good concert. Played for like 3 hours. We didn't go on till 1 a.m. It was like 4 a.m. when he's finished. It's like, well, let's hit the card table for a bit. Timmy and I nestled in. Yeah, GNR tonight. We'll talk to Lieutenant Eric about that. Okay, Prairieland Rentals text line. 600 Albert Street, where you get to deal with the owner. We're playing on Where Do You Land Wednesday, the remaining rider schedule. If you're watching the stream, Colson will throw it up here. We have our games. Colson figured we're going 6-2. Is that on the stretch?
Yep.
A lot of 5 and 3s have come in so far. Sammy. Oh, you're playing Pick the Score, Sammy. That was last hour. Kelly in Calgary. Kelly. Okay, what is she? Does she have the date? She's going by dates here? Kelly,
Yep.
that's intense. You're freaking me out. Okay, so Kelly's got Toronto win. Then Kelly has a win at the Labor Day Classic. She's got a loss, stringed instrument game. Then she's got a win at BC. Then she's got a win when Calgary comes here. A loss in Montreal. A win when Montreal comes back here, because probably Montreal's not playing for anything at that point. We might be able to play for them. I might just be like, you guys want to go out and play? And then the last game of the year, Edmonton Elks, Mosaic Stadium. Let's hope we're saying that it means something. We're playing a game we're saying it means something. She says a win. Also, why American Bridges and not Lewis? Considering it's another 6-game for MLS, I'm pretty sure we could use a big playmaker with Lewis credentials. Listen up later. We'll talk to Justin Dunk about that. But Lewis is a boundary receiver.
Yeah.
He's a down the field. He's a big guy down the field. Bridges can kind of go inside. He can go outside. Bridges can field punts, from what we know. And then, was there something wrong in the locker room with Gino? That's been rumored.
Money talks too.
Yeah, but see, I think at Gino at some point he's going to be like, I just want to play.
Yeah.
Just I'll take the minimum. I want to get my sneakers out of the closet and go run. So that's what I think, Kelly. That's why. It doesn't sound like Gino was even in play. So Bridges, let's take it. Roscoe, K-Town. He's got it buttoned up. Argos went out. You got the games all.
Yeah, his order's
Roscoe,
weird.
what are you doing? Did you go to the dispensary today? You're all over the map here, but we're going backwards. Kind of not even backwards.
Just out of order.
Argos win, Elks win, Bombers win, Lions lose, Stamps win, Montreal loss. I figure that's the one there. Montreal win. Riders go 6-2.
He only lists 7 games. What about the other Bomber game?
Roscoe's in one. I love it. Coach Mace on what Shamar Bridges brings to the Riders.
Pro's pro already. Great kid. Has been around, a good organization. He's been around the Hall of Fame quarterback. Just how he operates, you can already tell. He's not bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. He's a pro's pro through and through, and he's been a good football player in this league. Obviously, started out hot. And then has played multiple positions for his previous team. We'll see what he can bring and bolster our team.
Why did Hamilton let him go then? I'm still grappling with that in my brain. Maybe Justin Dunk in hour 3 will know a little bit more about that. But new receiver was there today. Dave Thomas caught up with Mr. Bridges.
Shamar Bridges, welcome to Riderville. Must have been a heck of a whirlwind week. Can you explain the process of how you became a Saskatchewan Roughrider?
Oh man, it was fast. Got released, from Hamilton, and then probably a couple days went by, and got a call, and was just told to be ready, maybe a possibility, and next thing you know, it happened. So I always had a lot of respect for this organization, for this team, and so I'm really excited to be here.
Are you at all surprised by how it went in Hamilton?
A little bit surprised, but at the same time, I understand the business and understand, kind of what was going on. So it's just, it's understandable. I'm always thankful for my time at Hamilton and for them giving me opportunity, and so I can have this opportunity. They gave me a shot to be able to play, to show my talents, and that's what, set me up for this. So, I'm always thankful. It's business, and I take it for what it is.
In your first year, you rack up over 900 yards as a rookie. You take a bit of a step back last year as far as targets and receptions go. What happened in year number 2?
Just change the position, changing the role. We got a great player like Kenny Lawler come in. It happens. You got Tim White, Keandre Smith. You got great players over there, So, it just happened. I just played my role and was trying to be ready for my time when it came. And, I think I proved to everybody that I can do that. I went from getting a lot of targets to, a couple targets and still being ready and still being the same me. And I think that was the biggest thing for me, is to show people the type of person I am. I can, handle any type of situation I'm put in.
From the outside looking in, what do you know about this Rough Riders offense?
I've seen the explosiveness of the receivers they have, a lot of, depth that, the receiver room, different guys have played, running backs have came in there and played physical. And I just always knew, just from the team as a whole, even on defense, just physicality. Saskatchewan, we always knew they was going to play hard and going to play, tough and going to hit you hard. So I'm just going to try to come and add on to that.
So how steep is the learning curve to get a grasp of this new offense?
It's a good little bit of learning, but, I've been around the block, a couple years in NFL, Hamilton. So, I definitely think my younger years have been a little more complicated, but for me, being that I'm older now and I can plug in concepts and compare it to what I've learned in the past, it makes it easier.
So what would be a realistic expectation for you to grasp enough of the playbook to play in a game as early as this week?
Very realistic. I think I'm smart enough. People that have been around me believe the same, and as long as I can come in there and just put the time in, which I have been doing, I'll be fine. And I picked up on it pretty fast. Definitely still things to learn, but to be ready for the game, I think I'll be ready.
Lastly, Shamar, Bo Levi Mitchell, your former quarterback in Hamilton, Trevor Harris here in Saskatchewan, have both talked about how excited they are for you and that you bring a lot to the table. What has garnered that reaction from those two Hall of Fame quarterbacks? And I guess, what does that mean when you hear that?
Yes, I just keep my head down at work. Bo is like a brother to me. His daughters are like my nieces. His family, that's family to me. So I love him to death. He reached out to me as soon as the news hit, and he made sure to put a good word for me. I always thankful for him, and Trevor's a great dude as well. So just be able to, I'm blessed enough to play with those two guys that's got Hall of Fame type careers, that won championships, done great things. So for me, I just keep my head down at work, and stay humble and show up to work every day and be the same person. And I think that's why I earn the respect.
I'm buying what he's selling. Sounds like a nice young man right there. Shamar Bridges into Rider camp. Speaking of football, and I know Schultz was in earlier I want to give a heads up. High school football is starting around the province. If you know anything about this program over the last year, we had a little segment comes at you every week, Wednesday, Thursdays, called Friday Night Lights. We play the fancy music and we look at high school football. Now, not the cities as much. We still do touch on that. The 9-a-side, the 6-a-side, the 12-a-side from the smaller communities. And we always welcome your input, your help on this. You can text in. There's an email. I think the email's still functional, right, Colson?
Just tested this morning. It still works.
It's like an AOL. Firefox.
Okay.
It's hi, H-I, like you're waving hi, at sportscage.com.
If you're watching the stream, it's at the bottom right there.
There it is. So with high school football coming up, if you just want to give us a little paragraph on your team or your league or what do you know, maybe you're one of the insiders in one of your leagues, especially the 9 and 6 side, which I absolutely love. Let us know. We're going to start that next week. It's brought to you by, again, Warren Steinley, Conservative MP for Regina Louvain, always on Saskatchewan's side, and Manitou Mainline in Watrous, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer, the king of trucks in Watrous, worth the drive every time, guaranteed. Did you have something, Coulson?
I was just going to say, what do we call them, those who email in, our unofficial on-field contributors? Correspondents?
Yeah, insiders, correspondents, good folk.
Get badges made or something?
Yeah. Okay.
That'll probably come out of the travel budget, though.
Coulson's on badges. Did you hear that crazy ad in the corner? Coulson's on badges. Still more to come. More from the riders. We're going to hear from Dylan Jette in a bit. Oh, and Lieutenant Eric from Edmonton Sports Talk is coming up when we come back. Clutch performer, and I have an unclutch performer today, and we'll get to more of your text messages as Where Does It Land Wednesday. We're asking you, give us the rest of the Riders season. What do you think? Are you 6-2, or you go through the games? Let us know, win or loss. We'll have some more fun on that. It's the Sports Cage for Regina Motor Products on our YouTube channel, sportscage.com. Mine is unclutch. So, Coulson, do you want to go first?
Sure. I know they're down right now, but Canada's Little League team pulled off a massive upset yesterday when they beat the Asia Pacific representative, which was a team from Korea, to keep moving on. And at 5-1, it wasn't a close one either. So
yeah,
you're not supposed to gamble on Little League, so I don't know what the odds were, but I'm told it was a long shot.
People mind your own business.
But yeah, I'm told it was a long shot, super unexpected. So kudos to the kids again. Here, let me refresh and see how bad it's getting now.
What was it, 7-0?
Yeah, it's still 7-0. We're in the top of the fourth, so Canada.
But hold
Canada's
on
up to
here. Unclutch. Nah, I know they're kids. The coach. Japan had the bags juiced.
Yep.
In the second inning. Then there was none out. And Canada had their fielders playing way, way, way shallow. Like just behind the shortstop almost. And then the Japanese batter plunked it over their head, scored 3, opened it up right there. So I don't.
That's coaching. Especially when they're just
coaching.
Kids.
And if all else fails, blame the refs or the umps.
As we've learned, yes.
Okay, my unclutch performer, kind of clutch too. Try to sneak this one in. The headline that struck me: PGA Tour Champions player suspended for betting on golf. PGA Tour Champions player Matt Gogol has been suspended for violating the tour's gambling policy. Now get this. Gogol placed bets on PGA Tour competitions, but not on tournaments in which he was a participant.
So he broke the rules, but he was...
Cut the guy some slack.
He was like, hey, I'm not going to completely be a bonehead.
I'm at home on my couch. They're playing in Hilton Head. I might throw a few bucks down on Rory or Scotty or Dave Barr, whoever. So the suspension is for 6 months, running from August 23rd to February, yada, yada. Gogol stated, excuse me, he unknowingly violated the policy with small wagers and cooperated with the investigation. Who found that out?
Yeah, good question.
But nowadays, they pro sports, they can track things on your phone, and it's like very intrusive.
Yeah.
And then I thought I had another one here, but I don't. Okay, clutch performer for Kelton Solar in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Speaking of clutch, they can be clutch for your livestock operation. If you have one this fall and winter when the ice comes, visit their website. You'll see what I mean. They can move the electricity. They can move the water to your cattle.
I mean, they have to move
the you can't move.
They have to move the electricity to do that too, but
do it with solar. Yeah, with the cattle don't like to move, apparently. Never been a rancher, don't want to be a rancher, wouldn't be able to be a rancher. But if you're a rancher, I think it was Jeff and Val Marie that heard him on the program, and then he called them. Kelton Solar in Lumsden, Saskatchewan.
Gotta fix your cough button.
I'm dying over here. Okay, where did we want to go from there? Oh, we wanted to go to Sprinkle of the Day.
Yeah.
Can you pull up the futures? Grey Cup futures.
Grey Cup
SportsSelect.com. Now, I took a screenshot. Let's cross-reference this. I took a screenshot Sunday morning.
All right.
Of what the riders are to win the Grey Cup, wanting to see how it would fluctuate with a loss in BC or a win. Guess what it was?
Was it paying $4?
It was $4.50. It hasn't moved.
Hasn't budged. All right.
So the odds makers, the sharps, I think the riders they still have the second best odds to win the Grey Cup at $4.50. If you want to put down, whatever at Sports Select, the favorite, Montreal Alouettes, $2.55, right? Tied neck and neck with the riders is the Edmonton Elks, followed by, now this is a little surprising, the Toronto Argonauts. I would have put the BC Lions there. BC and Toronto both have $6.75.
Yeah.
And then I think there's some value. Jeffrey, run out of your basement right now to your Lotto Spot retailer and take the Stampede. Head on a swivel, though, in case James is around. Run and put down some Hiroshi on the Calgary Stampeders because they're paying 8-1.
I still got it written down in my book when Brendan was hosting for you. It was August 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Hamilton was paying 35-1. That's who he picked. Now they're down to 43.
Mm-hmm.
BC was paying 22-1.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Shawshank.
Yeah.
Yeah. BC, there was value there. Sports Select, sportselect.com. You can make your picks online, generate a QR code, take them to your Lotto Spot retailer, scan away, and there you go. Or you can go in and fill out the slips like we've been doing since the 80s. Maybe we were underage, maybe we weren't, I don't know. But sportselect.com. All bets are 100% legal. Chance of winning cash in hand when you're ready to play with Sports Select. Okay, we'll go to break here. And we come back, we should be joined by Lieutenant Eric from the Dustin Nielsen Show on Edmonton Sports Talk. That'll be a fun conversation. It is a Sports Cage. We're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM. Prairieland Rentals text line. The Hammer says the Dean Keith Willoughby has the Riders losing to the Stamps in the Western Final. Interesting. I was wondering what Keith had going on these days. Rob says he sprinkled earlier in the season for the Grey Cup winners. I got Edmonton at 21. and Sask at 7:50. Attaboy, Rob. Attaboy, Rob. Keep me updated on that one as that goes down. It is the Sports Cage on this Wednesday for Regina Motor Products. You can start thinking about the early tire swap, and also you got a vehicle maintenance check and oil change. You go in, you get a $25 Esso gift card as well. Western Pizza guest hotline has been buzzing today. Regina style pizza. Oh, just a nice thick Western pizza coming up maybe tonight, or a lasagna. Burgers, ribs, salads, souvlaki. They got it all at Western Pizza. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline, joined by Lieutenant Eric from Edmonton Sports Talk. He's a Sasky boy from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. He's got the co-op lid going on. And what is that, a Portland Trailblazer jersey?
Yeah, Dame Lillard. It's hot here today, so I'm rocking the basketball jersey today.
If Colson would have said to me, guess what team jersey he's wearing, Portland Trailblazers would have been way down. Although I loved the Blazers. What was it? The 92 NBA final. Clyde the Glide Drexler against Michael Jordan, and Rick Edelman was coaching the Portland Trailblazers. Remember, I always loved it because Rick Edelman, I always thought, well, there's that Mr. Edelman that drove his bike around Saskatoon forever.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, I'm a Portland fan. Maybe they're related.
That Edelman pull, that's a huge pull. You just broke my brain. I forgot about him for a long time. That's big. Wow.
He lived behind my buddy Curtis Tran on Bedford Road. And I remember in grade 9 when he told me, yeah, I said, that's a guy that drives a bike all over. And he said, yeah, Mr. Edelman, he lives there. And I was like, so for the next 4 years, I felt like we were boys, And
that bike was dressed up a lot, right? Like that was the thing?
Yeah,
kind of a bunch of stuff on it.
Yeah, he kind of had some stuff, and you see that guy. You'd see that guy. And do you remember ski suit guy in Saskatoon? He'd walk around. It would be like 35 degrees, and he was always in a skidoo suit.
In my time, we had a guy walking around, and he'd carry bags. We called him the Walker, and he had a very pronounced hump. But he was mostly in the north end, but it kind of made his way all around. But he'd go to fast food places, and I think he was rewriting the Bible. He just had bags of paper, and he would sit there and write and read, and he was another one of those urban legend types.
And then there was Mitch, and Mitch was a lovely character because my brother-in-law's family kind of took care of him. John Lake area, and Mitch had autism, and he was and he'd walk everywhere, and you'd see him. And then when I got to be older, you kind of take care of you. Like I knew Mitch, right? And it's like, hey, Mitch, everything okay? Man, we could have sit here and talk Saskatoon urban legends. We need a podcast.
Westside Dougie could have his own 3-part series, I think.
Westside Dougie rolling around the Loris disposal bin at Harold Latrace. I'll never forget it. I will never forget it. It's like, what's that noise? It's like 9:30 at night, but it's all scared, and then Dougie pops his head out of the Loris bin. Oh man, well, this is we didn't plan this either. This is just how the segment started. All right, you're a big Rider fan. You're from Sasky.
Yeah.
Are you worried?
You're not going to win them all every year. There's a bit of a blip. The only concern, I guess, this year to me has been injury. And now Emlis 6-gamed again, right? That's what I heard. And I don't know. There is this. How would you say? This is a franchise that's won the Grey Cup however many times, and when you climb that mountain like Harris did and a lot of these guys did, there might be a little bit of a drop-off. I still think they're a good team. I mean, the way BC's playing, though, and Edmonton, it's kind of first place to lose now for them, mathematically. I could still see the Riders getting a playoff spot and stuff, so am I worried? No. As if you've been a Rider fan, for most of your life, playoffs are a great thing. A home playoff game's a great thing. Are they Grey Cup contenders this year? I guess if you get into the dance and they get a little more healthy here, but I'm accepting things as they are right now and not getting last year I kind of felt that it was different sauce and certainly things can happen this year, but given the injuries and what they did last year, I just kind of feel like maybe there's a natural drop off this year, and I'm sure Coach Mason and the rest of the staff and the players wouldn't want to ever admit that, and they're trying hard, but it just seems to me like it's a little different. Everything's a little slowed down. I have the Riders' defense in fantasy. Last year was an absolute killer. It drove my Birmingham Barracudas to a chip with the amount of turnovers that they generated and things such as that. And this year you haven't seen that either. So injuries, the defense playing as it is, it just seems like it's a little different this year. So not so much worried as I'm kind of like passively accepting it at the moment. Who's to say? CFL, you get in the dance. I mean,
yeah. Isn't it though interesting? And you could probably tell us if we say to each other. When I was on your show, I think 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, and if I would have said, okay, yeah, but watch, the Riders the next 2 games are going to score 19 points and 16 points. We'd be called a crazy person. It's odd that even with the injuries. And what we see but Ottawa's the anomaly, I think, right? Where we hey, we got the rookies in, but it's Ottawa. And we try to roll the dice and do that again in Hamilton, and it kind of bites us.
Even Ottawa too. I thought that the start of that game, and
yeah,
even the Riders will never make, when they're given a cupcake like that, they always kind of make it a little more difficult, I find, than they should. And earlier in that game, I was like, holy, they might. Way off, but then it's Ottawa. Ottawa can't get out of their own way, and they've been, I don't think roster-wise they're necessarily a bad team. They've had a lot of injuries, but they just make so many stupid mistakes. It must be frustrating to be a fan of that team. But I think with the Riders, it's just kind of caught up with them. And good teams find ways to win, which I did think they did early in the season. Maybe games that could have went either way, and they know how to win. They know how to take care of those things now. Even the home opener, I was there. It was a hell of a game. But, credit to BC and how they played and how they've been playing as of late as well. That defense has come around. So it should be a fascinating, again, as I said, Edmonton, I think, too, City's a buzz here with them. And first place is now for them to kind of fumble away if they choose to do so. But the West as a whole right now, I mean, any one of those teams, and you don't want to get, maybe BC getting hot right now is a curse, too. And you're getting hot, a couple weeks out to Labor Day. This isn't the time to kind of crest and defeat. So.
Well, because I don't want to sleep on Calgary as well, right? I called BC last week. I called them my Shawshank team, right? When we're not talking about them when they're in theaters, but then later on, it's kind of one of the best. And I feel Calgary is kind of nipping at that too. What do you think, though, about Toronto coming in this weekend? They already won here, and I just went through the odds, the odds makers, some of the sharps at sportselect.com. They got the Argos ahead of the Lions for a Grey Cup win.
That's the thing about the Argos, though, man. It's Jekyll and Hyde. Chad Kelly he could really go off, and they have a great receiving core and all that. So this week, I don't know, they scare me going up against them just this week. But as far as the Grey Cup, that's what the Argos do, right? It's every 4 or 5 years, they'll just, pop up. All they got to do is beat Montreal.
Yes.
And them in Hamilton right now, the Argos should get a home playoff game too, which would be a great boon to them. And you can kind of see, I can already envision, I told Dusty at the beginning of the year, This seems like an Argos year because they didn't have those home games. And I can already see and smell and hear the Matt Shinetti piece that, this is, and he'll start and there'll be all this high cinematic stuff. And Shinetti's a good dude. He does great work with that stuff. But I can just see it, how they've gone through this, oh God, and they didn't play at home in 360, and they'll do all the numbers and everything. And then it'll be Chad Kelly and his ups and downs. And I can just see that drama coming to the floor. And then they go and meet their final test and go into Montreal and everything. And then they win that, then they're in the Grey Cup. So it's always, Toronto has those years every once in a while where they just kind of come out and they'll feel like taking a Grey Cup and they'll do it. And we're out here, wringing our hands, getting one every 15, 20 years, and it's so rough and it's so tough. And they just choose to kind of when to do it. And I see it this year as being maybe one of those years. Because we're all talking about Montreal. Everybody's all talking about the Alouettes. We should be, but
now that you put it like that, I can see it. Some crafty graphic guy from TSN. He'll have the airplane, and it'll be a little Chad Kelly head on it, and he'll go from here and then here, and it'll show you we can do it.
Yeah, perfect. No, that's exactly how it's going to go, or a theme of that type of thing. But I could I smell it. I sense it that type of year could be unfolding.
Lieutenant Eric's joining us from Edmonton Sports Talk here. You can listen to them with Dustin Nielsen. Let's talk about the Elks. What's the city like? They're getting people back in the stadium. I wish I was in the stadium tonight. I tried to make it happen, but I'm not going. But just talk about the Elks. And what's the mood like in Edmonton?
Yeah, we had Malik Carney in at the beginning of the season, and I was talking to him just off air, and I was like, dude, like this, you could be, because he was new. He was obviously a Rough Rider there, and he was new to the team in the city this season. So I said, man, this is how you like in Edmonton? He's like, yeah, that's good. I said, cities, it could pop. Like if you really kind of, and you saw that last year when they were kind of coming on. If they would have made the playoffs under the new CFL format or whatever, to me, they would have been the hardest out. They were really coming on at the end of last year, and I thought the momentum was great. And we said, yeah, well, carry it to next season, and they have. Starts from the top down. They put the proper people in the proper positions, doing the proper jobs. I was never a Chris Jones hater, but he was kind of entrusted with way too many keys to a kingdom, which he didn't really know how to operate. Still think he's a good defensive coach and all those things. So it wasn't a good time for him. They bring in a Chris Morris. They bring in Ed Hervey. They got the new ownership as well. And then Killam, the appointment with Killam. So J.C. Sherritt, I think, has been great. That guy's been learning the trade. And you look at that defense right now as well. And, I mean, talking fantasy, their defense and their special teams, Vincent Blanchard, who last year was much maligned as well and sometimes was up and down, but he's been automatic. I mean, you guys saw that in Regina as well. He has another walk-off here last week against the Bombers. So every facet, and Cody Fajardo said too, and we were debating it on our show, he goes, we're not a good team, we're a great team. And this was before the Bomber game. And I said, and I took kind of the other approach. I said, well, to be great, you got to, let's see a playoff. Regular season, you mentioned the Stamps, Barney. I mean, the Summer Stampeders for the last couple of years, and Ferdinand Adams Jr. too. Yeah, you can put up a record before Labor Day and look really good and put up all these numbers, but then what do you do when it gets cold? And so I said, yeah, they're good right now, maybe even very good, but are they great? And the game against Winnipeg kind of made me go off of that too. And now I'm starting to think, maybe they are great. They beat Montreal, they beat Saskatchewan. They're kind of putting the Bombers to bed there too in terms of Winnipeg catching them. And the way they're doing it, good teams finding ways to win, even when they're not at their best. So all of these things said and combined with the special teams, defense, offense, the coaching, Mark Killam's just a vibe now, much like Corey Mace. He's called Commonwealth the concrete castle of the North or some, Game of Thrones-esque type of thing. Like they're all feeling it. So the people love it. The attendance is great now too. They didn't change their name back. Funny that, and they're getting people in the stands. They thought that was the big issue there, but apparently it's just winning. That'll get people back in the stands. Funny thought. So they're getting people back, which is good to see. And I've been going down to the tailgate for years, even when they were in the toilet, and the tailgate atmosphere was out of sight. And now that they're winning and top of the heap, it is just 10 times better. It's on HGH, the tailgate.
What? Take me through. Where is it? What do they do? What makes it so awesome?
So it's on the northwest side of the stadium by St. Goretti Church, I think it is, kind of in there. So you're coming off 118th towards the stadium, and it's kind of right there, a little to the south parking lot. Now, in the past couple of years, they've kind of moved it and expanded it now. So it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kind of lanes up and down. Mm-hmm. People get stalls and stuff. We have one, Edmonton Sports Talk. We have our own stall there. We give it like chips and stuff and play cornhole. They got a big stage for bands.
What kind of chips are we going? Are we going like an old, like a cat smoky bacon maybe? You guys go off the charts?
I'm not in charge of buying it, but I think we get boxes of Lay's. We were handing out Double Bubble the other weekend too. Just nice. Double Bubble, the Pud Comics. But other people, I mean, we don't. So we kind of get plain Jane here. But people with the stalls, I mean, the barbecuing and the cooking, and I know the Riders have implemented one too, and I hope that really kind of takes off and flies, because I remember in Taylor Field going up and down the alleys with the open door garages at halftime. Now, there wasn't too much barbecue, but there were other things, I guess. Maybe you wouldn't want at a team-oriented tailgate. But this is great. It's a very fun time. You get to meet people, talk football. There's fans of every color down there. Team color, which is all nice. Like, everybody's kind of friendly. So you don't have to be like an Elks fan. You don't get, made fun of, that type of thing. So it's a really good time. Music, the whole bit. And now, since they're winning, as I mentioned, it's really expanded and taken off. So people are loving it.
I would like to attend it for sure. Okay, so the Elks are on a bye this week, and then I am so intrigued because they have the back-to-backs with Calgary, and then they travel to Toronto. And then they got back-in-backs with Hamilton, which probably wins, then the Blue Bombers, and then the Riders. So we're playing the Riders schedule game, which I'm going to get to you in a bit, but I could see the Elks losing one of those to the Stamps. Maybe see them faltering in Toronto, and then I run the table.
It's a pretty... here, talking about it, we all like to think it's pretty cupcakey, and especially with the Stamps, we're going down. We're taking 2 buses to that Labor Day game. Our station partnered with the Elks. So we get 2 buses of fans and everything, and it's a wild time.
And a bunch of potato chips.
Yeah, and some other stuff. But people are pretty bullish. People are very, very bullish on that game because last year, too, I think, it's a rivalry game. So you kind of throw records and even, I want to say trends out the window at the time, too, if you're entering that game. And the Elks obviously coming off of a bye entering that game. And with the Stamps, too, and as I kind of brought up, like, I'm not counting them out. They're obviously not out mathematically, but I just kind of feel like when this type of season comes around, they tend to take a turn. Now, you're right, maybe it's 1 of 1. But you go off after that, it's Toronto. That could be tricky. Hamilton now, where they're at that time, like they're still kind of in that fight for number 2, but they might be out of it, too, at that time. Yeah. And whoever's playing for them. And then so that sets up – I wonder about that final game, though. Oh. If that's going to have any sort of – it might for one of the teams, I guess. Maybe not for both. I was hoping that it would be kind of a showdown for first.
It would that would have been ideal. Then you would have had to make the trek. You would have had to come to it.
Do you see the Riders like? How do you see them going for the remainder of theirs? Because I really don't see the Elks dropping too much more.
Okay, let's throw it up, Coulson, and I'll play mine right now. I haven't done it. People have been texting in all show, and then I'm gonna get your take. But here's what I think, and this is just me. I'm allowed to have my own opinion, people. I'm gonna say we lose to Toronto this week. Then we're gonna win Labor Day. Then we're gonna lose in Winnipeg. Then we're gonna lose in BC. Then we're gonna beat Calgary. We're gonna sweep Montreal because it might not mean anything to Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think we're gonna beat Edmonton. So. Yeah, so loss, win, loss, and then 4 wins in a row with that last weekend, though. Me not super confident. What do you have, Eric?
God, that's a rough looking. I you know what? Looking at those Montreal games, though, you're right. I mean, that could be a point in time where if the Alouettes kind of had that thing all wrapped up, it'd be nice. Toronto scare me. They did go into Regina and won their home game, correct? The Prairie Whiteout or whatever it was. As much as they scare me, I think the Riders have to get it right now. I'll pick a Riders close win this week. I think they sweep the Bombers in the Labor Day home and away. But then I do think going out to BC again will be tough. I think they'll drop it against the Lions, beat the Stamps, probably split the Alouettes, and then I don't know where that would leave them. Like, it all depends what you're looking at for that final game against Edmonton and what the stakes are. Because
we've been playing along with everybody that game means something. If you want,
okay. Well, then, yeah, and if it's at home, I'd probably take them to win again. So I took them. So I beaten the Argos twice against the Bombers, losing to BC. So 3-1, 4-1. I think I took Montreal split, correct? 4-2, so 5-2 the rest of the way, I guess. Which is, I can't believe I made that decision.
Well, hey,
weird how it works when you look at it and break it down. But
we got about a minute and a half left. I want to get. Is there any mood? Is there any talk? And I'm sure we'll have you on again as it gets fired. But I'm kind of just remembered today. I'm like, oh yeah, Mike Babcock is coaching the Edmonton Oilers. Is there any vibe there yet coming with Oilers season around the corner?
No, and thank God, because it's so great now to have a summer to talk about football, especially that the Oilers were out so early, and we were lucky to get a summer this summer because you could enjoy it because it was not covering the run. But again, fans would disagree. But it's nice to have the football going on where you don't have to. Now we did. I mean, once that whole not even the Babcock hiring, but the failure to get Cassidy and then some other names bubbling up to the broth, and then ultimately Babcock kind of he was the guy all along, and you're kind of and then the whole Babcock comes out and does the press conference, which was a little funny too. Like we had a good little time here post playoff run and into the early part of the summer with that. Who knows how? That's the thing though. You would hope that I mean, I don't know what he's got. Obviously, the PA, they went through the whole thing. It's all fine. Nobody. So whatever. You can say what you want, and I know a lot of ex NHL players out there that had long successful careers like to talk really bad about him. But that's how they kind of get their time in the sun as well. So they made a killing off talking about him. I'm waiting to see how it plays out. You got to see him. I don't know. Like he's been driving around Emma Lake for the last.
I think he might have even sold his place in Emma. Now he's a northern. I heard he's a northern Michigan guy.
Okay, well, so he's keeping it cool. Maybe that's changed things. I don't know. I mean, the players hired him. Leon spoke the other day. He says we want to be coached. Which I mean, okay, and if you need a guy to kind of tell you all these things, can't you just do them? Like I don't need my wife to tell me to take out the trash. I just take out the trash. I don't need to kind of have somebody to tell me to do it. It's a natural thing if I want to do it. So it'll be interesting. It'll be way different than Knobloch, which I'm pretty excited for, given the work that we do. But I can't really point in any direction which way that I may think it's going.
Your wife's a fantastic lady. She probably asks very nice.
She asks why you weren't at the GOAT birthday or whatever.
I wasn't invited. I saw some people.
Really?
Oh yeah, nah. So that was brief. My stint was brief there, but yeah, we can take that off. Take that offline. I would have loved to go. That would have been. That was one of the greatest 6 months of my life.
She missed it too, so she was just wondering why.
Living in Lomé. Okay, so do some AI magic and a Mount Rushmore of Saskatoon urban legends and get Dougie, Edelman, get all those guys up there. We'll get a t-shirt made.
Sailor Dan.
Lieutenant, always a pleasure. Let's catch up again soon.
Thanks, Barney. Appreciate it.
There he is, Lieutenant Eric from Edmonton Sports Talk, the Dustin Nielsen Show. You can listen to those guys every morning. Lots of fun. He's a Sasky boy as well. If you're watching, he's wearing his co-op hat. It is a Sports Cage on 620 CKRM. Saskatchewan Roughriders signed American defensive lineman Aaron Patrick today. He dressed for 16 regular season games with the Riders in 2025. 7 special team tackles. He also suited up in both playoff games, including the Grey Cup. If you missed it, Sam Emilus has been bumped to the 6-game injured list again. Shamir Bridges was at practice today. We've heard from him already today. Major League Baseball tonight, Blue Jays trying to rebound against Kansas City. They're 3 games back now. Costly errors last night. Nathan Lucas, bad one in the 9th on the pad. You could hear Colin Lovequist swearing at him. The lineup went 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position yesterday. Oof. It's for Extreme Hockey and Sport in Regina, McIntyre Street, the Cooperator Center, and in Moose Jaw, Temple Garden Center. If you need hockey gear in Moose Jaw, the local run company, they support local. They are local, Extreme Hockey and Sport. Fully stocked for 2026, new arrivals, and fitted by experts. Extreme Hockey and Sport. Hour 3 is going to start with Justin Dunk from 3 Down Nation. We also have the junior football report coming up. Stay tuned. We're back after the news. Start thinking about that tire changeover. They got the deal going on right now. I know it's a little early and it's like 26 degrees out, but just letting you know. Football talk continues. Western Pizza guest hotline. Western Pizza tonight. Why wouldn't a guy or girl maybe grab a wheel, lasagna, ribs, salad, souvlaki, whatever you want? It is at your local Western Pizza. Joining us from 3 Down Nation, Justin Dunk. We got to hang out Sunday night, man. It was the call-in show, and it was fast and furious. Unfortunate, a rider loss. But let's start there, Justin. And we talked about it, maybe to nauseam for some people. Sam Emilus was out there late. Sam Emilus was catching balls. Sam Emilus looked like he was getting banged up. And now Sam Emilus is on the 6th game.
It's an interesting twist that his story has taken, right, Barney? It seemed like he might play in that Edmonton game and was a game-time decision, then all of a sudden was on the 6-game injured list, then gets pulled off early to play in BC. And Wes Cates pointed it out. I totally agree with him. I think you would too, Barney. He wasn't at 100% in that game. And I think, yet again, another lesson that Corey Mace is going to be learned. If you remember, earlier in the season, Mace put Emilus back to return punts. That's how he was injured the first time. This time, He's in at the end of the game, and I get you never want your players to say die, but when Emilus is banged up at less than 100% and he's taking shots like that we see on the live stream late in the football game, down 14, I understand there's a chance that you could score there, go get the onside kick, and it's game on. But it's easy to say in hindsight for us, although I think in this situation, Emilus just clearly wasn't 100%, which now lands him back on the 6-game injured list.
You know, the one thing I'm thinking, and again, hindsight, right? We've had a few days to think about it. I'm wondering, I'm wondering, and maybe we can ask him at practice down the road or in the offseason. I was wondering what he was feeling there, you know, because if he's a gamer, and anyone that's ever played any sport, you want to get in there, you want to play. But was he maybe feeling, you know what, maybe I should sit a few plays out here, or was he good to go and then something just happened? I'm curious on that.
I think from a football standpoint, once you flip that switch, if you flick it off in the middle of the game, that's dangerous. So from a mentality standpoint, I think you got to be ready to go. And I think that's why he was out there late in the game, is because no matter how much pain he was or wasn't feeling, how much, numbness they can shoot him up with, that he's going to want to play.
Then the Riders bring in Shamir Bridges yesterday. What does he bring to the team? You know him well.
Bridges is a very intriguing fit for this offense. A guy in Hamilton that I think really the only reason that he was released is there were so many mouths to feed there. And when you go in and bring a guy like Kenny Lawler to Hamilton in 2025 in free agency, and I mentioned 2025 because Shamar Bridges was the East Division most outstanding rookie in 2024, had a lot of targets. Targets are going to go away. And then you add on the emergence of Keandre Smith, an outstanding Canadian receiver. You bring in Curly Gittins Jr. in the offseason, another outstanding Canadian receiver. Carrick Wheatfall comes over from Winnipeg to Hamilton as a field stretcher for the Ticats in 2026 free agency. And then you start thinking, okay, well, there's just not enough balls to go around from a target share standpoint. So I like this fit, and I do think it fits the Riders different than Geno Lewis. And some people might go, oh, how could you say that? And I get it, no doubt. Geno Lewis, from a talent standpoint, is a really good receiver, but he usually only plays the X position. Barney, you know that well, into the boundary on the line of scrimmage, which is more of an NFL receiver position. You just translate it over to the CFL. Shamar Bridges, you can move around in the offense, and I would imagine there would have been some background research done on Bridges with the relationships that the Riders staff has with people over in Hamilton. I think of Brent Monson, the defensive coordinator over there, spent a lot of time with Corey Mason, Calgary. So to me, that all leads to Bridges coming to Saskatchewan. He can play multiple spots in the receiving group, but he's got to get up to speed in that Mark Mueller offense real quickly.
And can't he, in a pinch, if we need, can't he return some punts?
I would think that you would want to just limit him right now to learning the offense. In a pinch, I think the majority of your skill position players could do it, but I kind of like what the Riders have going right now in the return game with James Letcher Jr. back healthy, and if he goes down, Daniel Weeb did an admirable job while he was out.
What are you hearing while we talk about Geno Lewis? Are we going to see him land anywhere soon? Where's a fit now? Are we going to have to wait? Is it a post-Labor Day thing? What do you think?
The timeline is TBD, and I think part of the reason that Geno Lewis has been out here for a little while, some is not his doing, and then the other I talked about in terms of a positional fit, right? If you sign Geno Lewis at this point, if you're any team, he's a vested veteran, he's going to be with you for the rest of the season. And some teams, I think, might be looking at Geno Lewis and saying, well, if the Ottawa Red Blacks, who are still 0-for on the season, have not won a football game, let this guy go, well, how can he help us? I do think there are teams out there that make a lot of sense for Geno Lewis. The one that makes the most sense when I talk to people around the league that they'll point to is the Calgary Stampeders because of his relationship with Vernon Adams Jr. going back to their days in Montreal. So there's no timeline on Geno Lewis. I would imagine that if there's a major injury to a receiver around the league, that team would pick up the phone and call, or perhaps some of these teams are waiting until after NFL training camp cuts are done to see who might shake free.
You're probably not surprised that the Riders are giving Nelson Locombo some reps at safety because we talked about it on Sunday. It looks like Jackson Ford, I guess we can use the term, he's starting to get picked on a little bit. He struggled at times, so not surprising that the Riders are taking a look at Locombo there.
It makes a lot of sense to me, and it just comes down to, yes, I get he's the hometown boy, played for the University of Regina, but in professional football and professional sports, Barney, you know this well, it's about performance. And I think that is what has Nelson Locombo now back at safety. I'm curious to see what they do at the corner spot. I thought perhaps to keep it Canadian, they might go with Malcolm Bell, but James Burgess Jr. was taking reps there at practice on Wednesday, I believe, according to our Dave Thomas. So that will be intriguing to see in terms of how it shakes out in the back end. But I think you at least need to put Locombo back there and try to lock down your safety spot and not be getting picked on like Ford was, because he was giving up some big plays.
Do you think, you know, the university game's a lot different. Then you make the jump to the pros, and it's a process. Is that something that can be coached into Ford down the road? You know, maybe you take some more reps at times, spot duty. How do you see the progression of him getting back there someday?
I do think this is just a bump in the road, for Jackson Ford and his progression. The keys for me are he can't be so jumpy and worried about trying to get in there and help in the run game. I get it. He's a physical safety. He's on the more physical side of the spectrum when you talk about traits and safeties, and he wants to help out. But that's not where you need to help out, especially in the Canadian Football League with these veteran and star quarterbacks that you face week in and week out. You get a little jumpy back there, they're going to take advantage of you. The other key for me with Ford is obviously not busting coverage. That one is obvious. So the main one that I want to focus on is his angles. He needs to be much better, and you can see it on the live stream right now. The angle that he took to Stanley Berryhill down the seam was not good enough, and he gets beat on the play. And I think just his intention on the play didn't seem like it was right. It's like either you're playing the man or the ball. Like either deliver a kill shot to Berryhill that's timed up well or go for the interception. So I think there was some indecisiveness, but his angles need to be much better. Barney, you see this when you coach flag football or, you know, the levels essentially all the way until you get up to the pros. There are some poor angles taken, and then the fast guys just outrun them. Well, we're seeing that a little bit with Jackson Ford, him taking poor angles. I think he needs to aim higher to make sure he at least has a chance to get some of these guys down to the turf. But more importantly, you just can't be busting coverage anymore, and he's got to be a little more patient on the back end. Simple stuff. I'm sure like you tell your flag football defense, Barney. Deep as the deepest, man. Play it top down.
Yeah, well, we're getting to the age where they understand, but when they're really little and they're looking at the clouds, it's like, see the cloud over there? Go back there. That deep, where that cloud is that you're staring at. Justin Dunk from 3 Down Nation is joining us. Glenn Suter was on yesterday, and kind of staying to this point, I think we might have talked about it on Sunday, is the other thing that people, the casual fans need to understand, that you just can't move an athletic cornerback and be like, hey, go play safety because you're really good over here. It's a different skill set in a lot of ways, and Glenn explained it well yesterday. From your scope as a guy that's played, you know, that is the case, right? Sometimes you can't move a Connor McDavid to defense in hockey, right? There's different skill sets.
Glenn would certainly know, being a safety, of course, with all those interceptions he had in his career in the Canadian Football League. And I can remember from my playing days at the University of Guelph, if somebody got moved around in the secondary, especially from corner to safety, it's like we're going at that guy, yes. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why Nelson Locombo is going back there, because he has experience at safety. But I think he's one of those rare players, and yes, I do think Nelson Locombo is rare, that can jump back and forth from safety to corner. So Glenn makes a great point. I don't think you can just throw anybody back there. It's a much different skill set, because you have to view yourself as the last line of defense. Yes, you want to make plays, and there's a time and a place for that, and you can feel it out, especially as you get a bunch of reps. But you have to be the guy, like you were talking about with the kids, you know, as deep as the cloud back there in the sky, to be that last line of defense and get an offensive player to the ground so that you're not giving up that touchdown.
offensively, we don't want to criticize Trevor Harris. He's a legend, Hall of Famer. But offensively, what do you want to see more of from the Riders come this weekend against Toronto?
I think, though, Trevor Harris would criticize himself, and that's why he is a Hall of Famer, Barney. He looks at the film and what he believes he can do better. So there were 4 turnover-worthy plays in that game. 2 of them actually turned into turnovers, and then Trevor Harris said post-game that he was indeed frustrated, admitted that, but really wanted to zone in on the miscommunication. He felt like he needed to do a better job throughout the week, and perhaps even in the game. And I'm trying to essentially go deeper into Harris's meaning of his words. The communication needed to be better. And it did seem like, especially on the Dylan Jete interception, or the one that Harris was trying to throw to him, that there was a little bit of miscommunication there. It seemed like Jete stopped his route. Harris threw it a little late, results in an interception. And it seemed like it was similar hearing Harris talk about it post-game on the interception that occurred when Keyshawn Johnson looked like he was going down the seam, running a go ball into the end zone. And Trevor Harris, even though he threw it off his back foot, threw it shorter into the middle of the field. So I think if the Riders just clean up some of that miscommunication and their errors as a whole, this team will look totally different. Sometimes a loss can look way worse than it is. And I think that's the case for the Riders with this game in BC. It was still a 2-touchdown win from the Lions, but there were 2 touchdowns that the Riders had that were wiped off the board due to penalties that you could definitely not have and get away with on those plays, and they still would have been touchdowns.
What should scare us with Toronto coming? Toronto's already beat us here, surprisingly, in their weird home game thing. Why should Rider fans maybe be a little cautious, or what does Toronto pose as a problem?
The Chad Kelly deep ball, in my opinion, is the real thing that should scare the Saskatchewan Roughriders fans. I don't think it's going to scare the Riders defense. They're not scared to line up against anybody, but the Rider Nation fans have seen it before, and Chad Kelly is pretty prolific in throwing the ball down the field. You talked about it, and you laughed about it, Bart. He doesn't want to be checked down Charlie. So you know he's going to throw the ball deep. The other key with the Argos, Toronto's the only team to have 5 players with at least 500 receiving yards in 2026. That's impressive. So it shows you that, yes, Chad Kelly is going to take his shots down the field, sometimes into coverage, sometimes when he finds those one-on-one matchups. But he also trusts really whoever else is out on the field with him from a receiver standpoint. So I think that's a real key for this team, and why it makes a lot of sense to me to put Nelson Lacombo at safety, because you know at any time Chad Kelly will take a shot with really any of the receivers that are on the field. So I think that's absolutely critical to not give up the big play. That said, on the flip side, the Riders have actually allowed the fewest big plays in 2026 and the fewest 30-yard completions in the CFL with 11. So as much as we talk about Jackson Ford, he's been responsible for at least a handful of those. When he hasn't been at safety, I think this defense has clamped down on those offenses, and especially the deep ball.
Dante Myers, we had Joe Dannerman from Fox Cincy come on a couple of weeks ago. They play again Friday, preseason game. Are you hearing anything new? I think the odds would be probably plus 5,500 that he's coming back to the CFL the way it sounds. I don't know. Do you know anything new?
It seems like, and from covering these CFL players or Canadians that go down to the NFL for years, Dante Myers has a really good shot to make that football team. Perhaps it's not the 53-man active roster, likely the practice squad to start, but when you have Joe Burrow, franchise quarterback, Zach Taylor, the head coach, who was a former backup in the Canadian Football League with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, so knows the talent level well, Josh Johnson, a veteran quarterback in the NFL, and Jamar Chase hyping you up. And yes, that's the case with all those people hyping up Dante Myers. I think he got a really good shot to make the roster, and the proof is also in the pudding. He leads the Bengals in receptions in the preseason, and he's getting reps with the starting offense during training camp practices. Like, teams don't just give those away, Barney. Those are earned because you only have so many of those in training camp in the preseason to get ready for the regular season. And Cincinnati with Joe Burrow is hoping that this is going to be a really good regular season for them and one where they potentially can contend. So I think that it does seem likely that Dante Myers is a Cincinnati Bengal in some form or fashion, but you also never know. So I hesitate to guarantee it because you can look really good in the preseason. Taylor Elgersma last year in Green Bay, even Chris Streveler in the past. I think it was Robert Saleh who said Chris Streveler had the greatest preseason ever in New York and then gets released. So you never know until it actually comes down to it. But Myers is putting himself in a really great position to be on that roster and be a part of the team after training camp.
Okay, I want to get back to the CFL in a second here, but 3Down Nation is the place to go, 3downnation.com. The story is up. The 2026 Heck Crichton Trophy watch list, 10 candidates on there, 2 from the beautiful province of Saskatchewan.
And I think rightfully so, Barney. And if Anton Ammonrood didn't have a cancer diagnosis, he might have been in the mix for the award last year. So what an unbelievable story that he has beaten this lymphoma and now is back and ready to lead the Huskies into the 2026 season. And that's where he comes in at number 3 on our list. But this guy had 14 touchdowns and no interceptions last year in 5 games and 1,600 yards. Like, he was throwing the heck out of the football with the Huskies. Yes, Daniel Weeb is not there anymore, but those kind of numbers I think can stay consistent for Ammonrood, and it's a reason why you need to watch him for the Heck Crichton Trophy this year. Certainly Canada West MVP. You got to go out and do it on the field. And same could be said for Marshall Erickson, the Regina Rams running back, who checks in at number 4 on our list. He had an unbelievable year last year, over 1,100 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns over 9 games, setting a new single-season Rams rushing record in the process over some pretty notable names. So as long as he's healthy from that injury that he suffered last year, there's no reason why Erickson can't lead the Canada West in rushing and compete for that Canada West MVP and ultimately the nomination for the Heck Crichton Trophy.
You have, is it Pepe Gonzalez at number 1?
Yes, sir. That would be the University of Montreal quarterback who, with the Catabana last year, did about everything you can do except for winning the Heck Crichton. He won the U Sports Rookie of the Year award. He was the Vanier Cup MVP. And, oh, by the way, led his team to a national championship as a rookie.
Yeah, that I remember now going through it and looking, I'm like, oh yeah, this cat was a rookie last year. I remember the name too because I had Pepe jeans back in the 80s. You're too young to remember that. So that's why. Okay, before we let you go, I want to play a little game here that we've been playing on the show today with Where Do You Land Wednesday. I want to go through the remaining rider schedule. You see this lots with NFL shows and whatnot. Let's go through the remaining rider schedule, and you tell me win or loss. So let's start, obviously, with this weekend and the Toronto Argonauts.
Bounce back win.
Win. We're going into Labor Day.
Ooh. That's a big one. I think the Riders get a win at home in the Labor Day Classic. Okay, and then the return match the following week? Man, the Bombers to me aren't good enough. And I think the Riders know that they got to keep pace in the West Division. So I know it's a rarity. It has been done in the past. But I'll say Saskatchewan sweeps home and home.
Wow, they're on a heater. They're on a 3-game heater. Okay, then they got to go. They got to go back to BC, Justin.
BC's tough now with the way that they've been playing. Now is 3 or 4 weeks down the line here, but I'll put that as an L for the Riders.
Okay, and then Calgary comes to town.
That's a dub for the hometown team.
Right on. Saskatchewan. Oh, here we go. We're traveling. We're going Crescent Street. We're traveling into Montreal. What do you think?
I think by this point in time, Barney, the Alouettes will probably have the East Division locked up. And I know they love to party out there in Montreal and celebrate these victories, but I think Saskatchewan can sweep that home and home.
Oh.
Because it won't matter for the Alouettes.
Okay.
It just simply won't matter. The Alouettes could clinch the East Division as early as week 14. And we're talking about games in week 19 and week 20.
Okay, so I'm putting 2 W's down. Wow, I didn't think that was going to happen. And then the big one, the last regular season game here at Mosaic, October 24th, Edmonton comes to town.
That one's tricky because it might not matter. The standings could be decided by then. I will say if it does matter, the Riders win. And I'll just add a caveat to Week 19 and Week 20. Part of my winning picks here for the Riders depends on who's playing for the Alouettes.
Yeah.
But I think it's possible.
It's all for fun. Asterisk. We're putting an asterisk beside those two. All right. Thanks for having fun. Thanks for doing this, Justin. Always great stuff at 3 Down Nation, as always. And we'll catch up again hopefully next week.
Sounds good, man. Thanks, Barney.
There he is. Justin Dunk. He is part of our Rider Broadcast Network team every weekend. And, of course, great stuff at 3 Down Nation, everything CFL, if you want to go check it out there. This is the Sports Cage. We're on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM, and we're also streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. Blue Jays and Royals. Jays 3 back going in. We got 0-0 in the bottom of the second. The Riders signed American defensive lineman Aaron Patrick. He was here last year, 16 games, including the playoff games and the Grey Cup. Sam Emilus moved to the 6-game injured list. Shamir Bridges was at practice today, in case you missed that. The NFL is getting rid of the Pro Bowl. See you later. That thing is done. It's 4 tariff-free garage doors in Saskatoon, Prince Albert, and here in Regina. Steelcraft Doors. All right, we got the junior football report coming up with Dave Thomas after the break, but I've been teasing this. Dave did have a chance to catch up with rookie receiver Dylan Jette at practice today.
Dylan, there was some frustration shown at the end of that BC game. Can you take me into the locker room? What's the feeling and emotion around your teammates right now?
Obviously, I don't know. It's kind of hard. We just working so hard, but we're gonna fit it in. Like we're gonna do whatever it takes to make it happen. We know we got some frustration because some things don't work, and we just killing ourselves, including me. So we just know what to do. Now we just need to execute it, and that's what we're gonna do.
When you see your leader like Trevor Harris get fired up like he was, what does that do for you?
It's just showing leadership. Like I know I got a good leader no matter what. Even though he could have one bad play, he's still gonna look me in my eyes and tell me I got you. And then it just made me feel like I got somebody to lean on, and just to see all my teammates, Sam, Keyshawn, every time there's a bad play, because bad play gonna come, they always keep their head up. As a rookie, when I make a mistake, because mistakes gonna come, I just know what to do now, so it's good.
Take me through being a rookie with that receiver room and having to be, I don't want to say thrust, because you've earned your opportunity to start and get the reps that you're getting. Tell me what that's like, though, as a newcomer coming into the league.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing for sure. It just showed me that I can never be comfortable. Like, I always got to chase something. I always got to get better. And that's one thing I feel like I needed a reminder. Like, it's professional. Like, even if you get one opportunity, you need to prove it every single day at practice. Whenever you catch the ball, you need to make sure that you're doing everything, you know, to like prove that you deserve to be here. It's not because I have my first touchdown in my first game, now I'm in my head like, okay, I deserve this. No, it's every day I got to prove it.
What did you see on film then that led to some of that frustration in BC?
I would say just self-inflicted wounds, just us making penalties, just us not running the right route, or maybe not making the right read, not running the route full speed. All these things that's just part of football. So it's just self-inflicted wounds that we know what we did, and we're going to just get better.
We've seen you do it on film at the collegiate level, especially in making the reads. Is it more difficult up in the professional ranks, or does it happen quicker? Or how do you sometimes maybe not be on the same page as your quarterback?
I would just say I think it's experience. Since me and Trev didn't have no experience prior to camp or whatever, but I need to be on his page. We don't need to be on the same page. I need to be on his page. So I need to do better in understanding. That's why I try to make sure that I spend more time with Trev, knowing what he's thinking, so that I can be on the same page as him, because I got to catch up.
And you mentioned Sam Emilus and the peer that he has become to you inside that receivers room. Obviously, he doesn't want to be injured, but that's the cards that he's been dealt. How has he been helping you behind the scenes prepare for more game time?
I feel like he's doing the best that he can, especially with whatever he has going on mentally or whatever. I know it's hard because I've been there when I came to camp. So he's doing everything. Him, Keyshawn is doing like a good job for me. Shafe, all them boys are just helping us, not just me, but Weeb and Mims to kind of replace them, because that's what we need right now. We need the next man up to do the same job that they were doing.
Your teammate Nelson Lacombo said, we're not panicking. So what would the message to Rider Nation be from the receiver room, knowing that it's a dinged up room right now, but the game still goes on?
I would say that we got each other. That's the thing. We got to stay tight. We're a family. So we just got each other, and we know that we're going to go to that level where we're going to be successful to beat everybody.
Dylan, as always, thanks so much for the time and insight. All the best this week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Don't forget this. I haven't mentioned this. Saskatchewan Rough Rider Foundation 50-50. Tomorrow, 10 p.m. deadline for the early bird prize, and it's a good one. This week, Mexico Family Escape. Return flights from Saskatoon to Mazatlan. 7 nights at the Rio Emerald Bay. That's a 5-star. The package is for 2 adults, 2 kids, all inclusive, or you can take $5,000 cash. I'm taking the trip all day long. Riders5050.ca by tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Tomorrow, coming up in the show, Sharky is going to be with me. If you haven't heard, there is a legal case going around with junior hockey teams in regards to hazing of players back in the day. I have one of the lawyers from the law office that is, I guess, heading it up, coming on the show tomorrow. Sharky's going to be with me. Arash, Glenn Suter, Prairie Golf Gems tomorrow. We're going to look at Evergreen Golf Course in Nipawin. So it'll be a good show. Jam-packed Thursday coming up tomorrow. This one was for Regina Motor Products. It's not done yet, because after the break, we're going to talk about our undefeated Regina Thunder. We'll also talk about the Saskatoon Hilltops. The Junior Football Report is coming up with Dave Thomas. I will talk to you again tomorrow. It's been the Sports Cage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com and on the home of football in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
This is the Sports Cage Junior Football Report with Dave Thomas.
Week 3 of the Prairie Football Conference featured scares for both Saskatchewan entries. The Regina Thunder improved to 3-0 with a 60-35 win over the Winnipeg Rifles on Sunday at Leibel Field. The score shows dominance, however, it was a much tighter game than the score indicates. The Rifles actually led at halftime, 21-18, before surrendering 32 points in the third quarter, which allowed the Thunder to pull away for the win. Regina receiver Tanner Donovel caught 9 passes for 126 yards and a pair of touchdowns in the victory, and he joins me now. And Tanner, tell me about that second half turnaround.
Yeah, no, it was a good battle in the first half, really close, neck and neck, and then went in at half, stuck to our plan and everything, and then came out and had a really good third quarter, and then finished it off with a great fourth quarter as well.
Yeah, 30-plus points in the third quarter. Whatever was said at halftime obviously worked. What was the mindset, though, when maybe things weren't going as well as you would have liked in the first half?
I think just staying calm as a team and, trusting each other, trusting ourselves, ran through plays all week.
9 receptions yourself individually for 126 yards and a pair of touchdowns. That's a pretty good afternoon. What was going right for you?
I think just Zelyanka putting the ball where it needs to be, and myself just trusting where to go, where to be, and when. And then obviously everyone else blocking for me, making it a lot easier.
The quarterback obviously gets a lot of the credit when things are going well. When they're not going well, there's a lot of focus on him. He's a young man. Tell me about working with your new quarterback.
It's been great so far. I think he's completely ready for the starting role, and he's been killing it.
Well, so far so good. 3-0 thus far on the season. Hard to believe you reached the midpoint of your campaign after this week's game at home. Can you tell me how the season has gone so far? If you had to look back and go all the way back to the winter training sessions, the spring camp, and now where you're at, are you where you would like to be?
Yeah, for sure. I think we're doing great as a team so far. I mean, it's obviously a grind in the winter when the games feel so far away at times, and then got camps and everything. And then as the season gets closer, just staying prepared and executing what we've been practicing for months.
Well, this week you've got an opportunity again to get better when you take on a tough team in the Edmonton Huskies at home. The Huskies are 2-1. What do you know about them, and what should fans expect at Leibel Field?
It's going to be a good game for sure. Good battle, and I think, you have to come out and see.
There's the ultimate teaser and a way to sell tickets. Nicely done, Tanner. I do want to ask you, though, when it comes to playing at Leibel Field, you had to start on the road. You got those 2 Alberta road games, and Coach talks often about, you know what, I love starting on the road because it brings our group together, and then we get to come and do what we do at home. So what does it mean playing at Leibel Field?
Really nice. Obviously, not as much traveling involved in everything. Brings the team together. And, just knowing we got our home crowd, parents, friends, family, and all that.
What do you need to do this weekend to make sure that you're set up and ready to go, not only against getting the result that you want against Edmonton, but also getting ready for that stretch run when you come back from the bye?
I think it's just treating every play as a life of its own, every practice, every day is its own thing, and just getting better as much as you can.
All right, before we let you go, you do also have to give a shout-out to how you got to the Regina Thunder program. I know you were a standout watching some game film at Miller as you were growing up, but obviously there was an RMF, I'm sure, where you started out at some point. How did your road and your path lead to the Regina Thunder?
Well, I've been playing football my whole life pretty much since you can. I think I was like 7 years old, playing flag, and then like Mighty Mites, RMF, and then just sticking with it through the whole time.
Tanner, I really appreciate you doing this for us this week. Again, we wish you all the best of success this weekend when you host the Huskies over at Leibel Field. 1 o'clock is the kickoff there. And, of course, a great rest of your campaign. 5 games left to go in the regular season.
Yep, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Meanwhile, in Saskatoon, the Hilltops, coming off a rare regular season loss to the Edmonton Wildcats, hosted the Calgary Colts. The Toppers looked to have things in check, but gave up a pair of touchdowns in the game's last 6 minutes, but held on for a 36-26 win. Running back Brody Komarnicki replaced injured starter Corbin Eben and scampered for 123 yards on 19 carries with a pair of touchdowns and an 8-yard reception out of the backfield. Brody's on the line, and Brody, congratulations on the bounce-back win.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not an ideal way we wanted to start the season by any means, but, I mean, we trust our coaches, and the coaches know what's best for us. So, yeah, that's all we're thinking about heading into week 4 here.
36-26 was the final score against Calgary. Explain to me what happened in that ball game, as Calgary did get close later on.
Yeah, I mean, Calgary is a strong team, and we know that. But we treat every game just the same in a sense. You know, we have a game plan that the coaches provide for us that we follow. We trust them. And, we just try to go out there and execute every play to the best of our capabilities. I mean, obviously, we may slip up here and there, but, it's just on to the next play and just try to get better.
We spoke to Griffin Sander last week, and he very clear in his messaging in saying that we just got to play 4 quarters. Did you do that?
I think we just have to play a little smarter as teams. I think we're almost. Well, I don't know. We got to play smarter, but we're also thinking a little too much. I think sometimes. I don't know. That loss early on in the season definitely. I think has gotten into some guys' heads, but they just got to remember. Like a lot of guys just got to remember, like they're there for a reason, and they execute. And when we do execute for 4 quarters, like Griffin was saying, it's unbelievable. So. Sometimes there's a lot of ups and downs, and like momentum is a huge thing, especially in a game. So if we can come out firing on all cylinders early on in the first quarter or first half, that'd definitely be a huge game changer.
Well, you were firing for sure. 19 carries, 123 yards, a couple of touchdowns, not to mention a reception for 8 yards. What went right for you in that contest last week?
Everyone else, really. Everyone was blocking extremely well. O-line, receivers, everyone that, even if they weren't directly involved in the play, were doing their part, which just lays it. It's way easier as a running back when everyone's doing that.
You obviously are still a young player in this league, a couple of years removed from your time at BJM. How has that set you up, and what other experiences have you had with elite football that has gotten you to this point with the defending national champion Hilltops?
Well, yeah, so I didn't start football until grade 10. And then at BJM, Donnie Davidson is there, and he was the head coach there, and he's a coach for the Hilltops. So his kind of practice style was very easy to. It's pretty identical to Hilltops, so that was a pretty easy transition for me. I did do Team Sask. I did Futures for 2 years, and I did Academy for 2 years, and it was great, good football, and it's. I don't know. It's nice to do a lot in the summer because kind of sets you up for the high school season.
We media people, Brody, on the outside looking in, are going to go ahead and say, well, it's rematch weekend. You're taking on the Edmonton Wildcats again. Is it a rematch, or is it just a new game that's on the schedule that happened to be against a team that you didn't complete a victory or get the win against?
I mean, yeah, it's a rematch, and of course we want to win. But I think the most important thing we want is to play to our capabilities. Like, we know we're better than this. We know there's things we can clean up that are not that insane things that the coaches should be asking for us as players. So I mean, this week definitely we'll be focusing on the little things, looking at film and seeing where we could have improved on and just cleaning it up a bit. So yes, although it is a rematch, I think the biggest test is kind of just ourselves and making sure that we are playing smart and just playing as a football player.
Before I let you go then, Brody, one last question for you. Obviously, when you were part of a program that has had as much success as the Hilltops had, you're getting your best shot from your opponent each and every time. Does that add pressures when you head out onto the field? Not only the pressure that you've got of your own expectations, but understanding that you're going to get a team's best shot all the time.
No, I mean, I don't think you really want to have it any other way. It's always a great game. That's the best way to put it, and it makes you better when people you're playing are giving it 100%. And yeah, I wouldn't want to have it any other way. It makes for a good football game.
Well, Brody, over 130 all-purpose yards last week in your victory over Calgary. We wish you all the best this week, and of course, moving forward as we head towards the second half of the PFC season. Thanks for doing this.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
In the other Week 3 game, the Wildcats topped the Huskies 42-13 in an all-Edmonton matchup. In Week 4, the 3-0 Regina Thunder host the 2-1 Edmonton Huskies, while the Saskatoon Hilltops try to avenge a loss from 2 weeks ago as they take on the Edmonton Wildcats in a battle between two 2-1 teams. And Winnipeg will play in Calgary in a matchup of winless squads. And that's the Junior Football Report. I'm Dave Thomas.